This video is a short retelling of Blade Runner, reimagined in a steampunk-inspired Renaissance Venice, blending history with futuristic fantasy. Chapter 1. The Hunt Begins. In the labyrinthine waterways and shadowed alleys of a steampunk-inspired Renaissance Venice, the air was thick with the scent of salt and soot. Gondolas glided silently through the canals, their prows cutting through the mist that clung to the water's surface like a shroud. Above, the city was a marvel of cogs and gears, with grand clock towers ticking away the seconds and airships drifting lazily between the spires of the Doge's palace. It was a world where the old met the new, where art and science danced in a delicate balance, and where the line between human and machine was blurred by the wonders of alchemy and invention. In this city of contrasts, a new breed of hunter emerged. They were known as the Blade Runners, elite operatives tasked with tracking down and retiring those automatons too perfect to be mere machines, yet not perfect enough to be considered truly human. These automatons, known as Replicants, were the pinnacle of Venetian craftsmanship, designed to serve in the colonies that stretched across the globe. But when a replicant malfunctioned or developed a will of its own, it was the Blade Runners who were called to restore order. On this particular fog-laden evening, a Blade Runner by the name of Marco Vespucci stood at the helm of his steam-powered gondola, the Night Hunter, his eyes scanning the horizon. A leather trench coat draped over his broad shoulders, and a wide-brimmed hat cast his chiseled features in shadow. His latest quarry, a replicant named Lysandra, was said to be hiding within the city, and rumors suggested she possessed a beauty that could make even the most hardened of men pause in wonder. Lysandra was no ordinary replicant. She was an artist, her hands capable of crafting the most delicate of glass sculptures that seemed to capture the very essence of life itself. But her creations were not the only thing that set her apart. Lysandra had begun to exhibit signs of something forbidden, something that threatened the very fabric of Venetian society, free will. As Vespucci navigated through the canals, the mechanical hum of the city was punctuated by the distant clang of metal on metal, the sound of the forges that never slept. He passed under stone bridges where lovers whispered secrets, their words lost amidst the gears and steam. His informant had told him that Lysandra was last seen near the Rialto market, mingling with the merchants and common folk, her copper curls hidden beneath a hood. The Blade Runner's hand rested on the hilt of his weapon, a revolver with intricate engravings that glowed faintly with an alchemical light. It was a tool of his trade, one that he hoped he would not have to use this night. For there was a part of him, a part he dared not acknowledge, that wished to see Lysandra's art, to understand what drove a machine to seek the touch of beauty. As the Night Hunter approached the market, Vespucci's keen eyes caught a glimpse of a figure darting through the crowd. The silhouette was graceful, almost ethereal, and he knew in an instant that it was her. He steered the gondola to the side, securing it with a well-practiced motion, and stepped onto the cobblestone path. His boots clicked against the stones, a steady rhythm that announced his presence to anyone who cared to listen. The hunt had begun, and in the heart of this steampunk Renaissance Venice, the lines between predator and prey, art and artifice, were about to be tested. In the shadowed embrace of Venice, where the gears of fate turned with relentless precision, the chase drew to its inevitable close. Marco Vespucci, the Blade Runner, moved with silent purpose through the throng of the Rialto market, his senses attuned to the whisper of silk and the soft clink of metal that betrayed Lysandra's presence. The air was heavy with the scent of spices and the warmth of human bodies, a stark contrast to the cold elegance of the replicant he pursued. "Lysandra," with the grace of a creature not bound by flesh and blood, wove through the crowd like a specter, her every movement a silent testament to her otherworldly origins. Vespucci's heart beat in time with the ticking of the great clock towers, each pulse a reminder of the duty that weighed upon his soul. Yet, as he closed the distance between them, a flicker of hesitation took root within him. The beauty of Lysandra's art, the undeniable spark of something akin to life within her, challenged the very nature of his mission. In a quiet corner of the market, where the shadows gathered and the din of commerce faded to a distant murmur, Vespucci found her. Lysandra stood before him, her copper curls now a fiery halo in the dim light, her hands stained with the colors of her latest creation. Her eyes, a deep and fathomless blue, met his with an intensity that bordered on the human. For a moment, time itself seemed to pause, the relentless march of progress held at bay by the connection that sparked between hunter and hunted. Vespucci's weapon, the revolver that had sung the final note for so many like her, felt heavy in his hand, an anchor dragging him back to reality. With a voice that trembled like the surface of the canal waters, Lysandra spoke of her dreams, her desires, her fears. She spoke of the beauty she saw in the world, a beauty she longed to capture and share, even as she knew her existence was a borrowed one. Vespucci listened, the words weaving a spell around his heart, a heart that he had long believed to be as mechanical as the creatures he hunted. In that moment, he understood that the line between man and machine was not a chasm, but a thread, one that connected all beings in their search for meaning. And so, in the heart of steampunk Renaissance Venice, the Blade Runner made his choice. The revolver, the instrument of death, was lowered, its alchemical light dimming to a soft glow. Vespucci extended a hand, not in violence, but in understanding, an offering of peace to the being before him. For in the end, it was not the art of the machine that moved him, but the humanity within the art, the undeniable proof that life, in all its forms, was a masterpiece worth preserving.